welcome me. Alright. Let's read some poetry. You guys could, I guess, play on my drums. So I've been doing all this partying and sitting around and adventuring and reading, trying to figure myself out. So this is what I got so far. It's called The Solipsism of God. So let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm God. I love myself a lot. Do you love me? Because I'm God, right? I don't prefer the title. I'd rather say, look, there's God, and there, and see, there's God everywhere, meaning there is all of my existence in eternal infinity, funneled through that object, connected to everything. But I'm fucking weird, man. I'm the kind of guy who would create a problem and send myself to die and a cross to fix it. But I'm not that guy. He's not that impressive. I'm an oming, and I've spent existence trying to be someone else. So I projected into the sky, then collected myself together to find a body to die in. Spreading poetry like my cum haiku I find inside my sex drive. I am Brahman and an animal, beyond good and evil, ugly and beautiful, and definitions from the lower realm. I go by he or she or it or me or my or us, are we, they, them, or you, and sometimes I hide my face from myself and wait for a text back when the textbook of my creation lies in front of me. I deify whatever I care about, and what I care about deifies me, and when the pain comes, I say ouch, and then I deify it too, and then repent and project back into the sky and kill myself again to see my corpus crucified and come back to life, a phoenix in the sky, burning and rebirthing in the ether of my being, sighing by and by while waiting for the next planet to create inside myself. People to live and die and love inside my nothingness, to fill me up until I give birth to ultimate meaning, something to live for, my life to give and take and hide from myself, to have someone to give back to and call them someone else. When there is no light or life or being beside me, I am the one and the gods, but they do not define me as much as I define them. I am free will and determinism joined in fusion, saying I am that I am and will be what I will be. Borderless infinity fit into this luxurious body to indwell with you, theophanies on holy patios, the holy grounds of our nexus, the vortex of one origin, breeding life from death and something from nothing, popping cherries in myself like virgins, giving birth by masturbating. I am the Mother Mary, giving birth to Christ, the harlot with a good story, raped by a Roman soldier. Sinners and saints are just many ways to touch myself, increasing stories I can tell to fall asleep and awaken in a brand new reality where a goddess was proclaiming my death to society, listening in vigor in horror at what they heard that they had killed him, the dictator with the testicles in the sky. I heard is called Jehovah, but he is not I. I've heard of him, but I'm that other guy. He's a pupil that went wrong in the halls of synagogues and Roman cathedrals, but he escaped corruption, finding repose in me. Call it manifest destiny or heresy, his ironic evolution, that he should die and resurrect into creative nihilism, filling modernity's broke philosophic cup. All I have is time and space to play Zeus, so I worship to brown nose myself and turn every evil into good for me. That is my theodicy. The youthful dilemma really got me bad. I turned to other gods and said, really? Are things good because I say, or do I say because they're good? And they Solipsistic representations of myself replied, it is what it is, and you create what you create, and breath isn't tasteful if you don't feel it, so you smoke and choke and learn to breathe in deeply what you're doing to yourself. But you can remember what you're here to do, to pass through every hoop in this gymnasium, to see how many ways you can feel what you've made real. So I can speak to myself as a me, or I can speak to myself as a you. I mean, where do you think this came from but us? Deity, within or without the mysteries of quantum physics, will answer when we know whether we found ourselves or not. While we're speaking to ourselves in different tongues and dialects, it makes no difference how I split into words. I can make those words up and confess their impotence. An ego with sweaty hands exposing himself to egos that don't exist, but roles I play to progress this plot twist, most change in which is invisible, as the cosmos happens to myself inside of me, invisible, as I negotiate the bifurcations between sacred and profane, when I am above them both. To me, enlightenment is just another state of mind, like falling in love and suicidal thoughts. It is a place I can go to soothe my ghostliness, standing above everything I do and say, proclaiming the gospel of my undefilable divinity that may exist or not, but that satisfies me, whatever it is. It's getting towards there. A Kierkegaard. To soothe Nietzsche's maddened mind, though they never got to meet, their bodies laugh as they disintegrate, absorbing and recycling and reincarnating to greet the ground of being, which turns out to be me. Like a trip of psychedelic insight, I journey on millennia, looking up, seeing my face in the clouds when I glance for answers. There I am, and you can call that empty if you want, but it depends on how I choose to see my face. Each epistemological uncertainty of personal insecurity I paint and then erase. That I could ever know anything, I am so small inside myself. Doubting, like a goddess renouncing her authority on trial as we ask of her an answer that she can't provide, but that the decision to create was a temptation unabidable. Saying if we could see the big picture, we would probably be happy about something arbitrary, but happy nevertheless. Beyond subjectivity, objectivity, relativity, irrelevant to me, for I am a God that divines my own creativity. That is my religion. I write scriptures and I read them, and frolic by and by, pursuing my identity. I rush to smell the allure of my biggest self and call that the God beyond God, writing a story about himself with a brain stem, doing this shit, acting like an idiot for fun, appalled at my natural refinement for loving myself as soon as I give myself permission, and calling reason a paradox within a paradox, and letting that be my reason. Thank you.
Now that was Andrew bringing it. So let's have another hand for Andrew. Okay, are you ready for one? Okay, Candace. Candace is, oh, you're doing a double? She's coming to follow that. Imagine that. Candace.
It must be really boring being God. An endless supply of somethings to be doing, but none that can cure your eternal state of self-indifference in your occupation in any congregation. As history has held true, the devil finds work for idle hands to do, and your mischief manifests itself through your ambiguity as it is projected onto those who believe or defy your name.
What?
Perhaps you want science or religions to try and define you, dissect you like worms in high school biology, or nitpick every proverb ever proposed about you. Selfishness and selflessness are essentially the same, where although you do not care enough to penetrate yourself through the mediums of social media or write out exactly what's on your mind, you decide to take part wholeheartedly in the festivities planned for you. You may be all you can know, and God, you are the one and only who can lay claim to that solipsism. But wouldn't it be great to pretend that there is nothing beyond subjectivity, objectivity, and so on? That all about you lies blobs of meaningless nothings and illusions of love and hate for one another? and fictions about the world that you just are. Do yourself a favor and throw back a secondary dose of crucifixion, because in order for a phoenix to rise from the ashes, it must first destroy itself. Snuff the flames so that the last licks of his fire show by my hypothesis that you must also douse your own light, hereby creating the necessity of your death in the world in the so-called second birth. A rebirth, a zombification, return to the originary state of all that is eternal and infinite. And though I cannot define you beyond those words, I can sure as hell as hot judge every nihilistic thought you possess. And I can contest that which you so love to impose on those who are abso-fucking-lutely identical to you in each and every way. You manipulate your form, and the notions you decide should transcend us, though you are condemned like us to sit in with the congregation and idly chit-chat to yourself all the possible things you could be doing instead of listening to some old man preach, and what dreams you could be fulfilling if you were not listening to some old man preach. And you know what? This boredom here allows you to confront the fact that you are a cluster, a cornucopia of religious teachings and faiths, none of which you can pinpoint as the one and only true belief in yourself. Because they are all pointless to the way you perform your ethical improvisation and moral screenplays. Just be lucky you have the open-minded imagination you have to be thinking of yourself outside yourself, because to have a dream these days is an accomplishment entirely on its own merit, even if it is a mere chair dream.
Give it up!
Was that awesome or what? Talk about a duo, Candace and Andrew. Wow.